Is human civilization really just a few thousand years old? Study Earth's past, and you'll uncover a deadly gap in that story. Earth is 4.6 billion years old. Modern Homo sapiens, just 300,000. Cognitive revolution came 70,000 years ago, yet agriculture's dawn came 12,000 years ago. From farming to smartphones, the internet, and AI, it's only been 10,000 years since then. Imagine, with human smarts and progress, we could make such a leap in 10,000 years. So, in 4.6 billion years, how could only our generation be intelligent? That makes no sense. Even stranger, every ancient legend worldwide and most fringe archaeology claims all converge on one crucial time marker, 10,000 BC, because then, megastructures like Göbekli Tepe appeared, along with Egypt's mighty Giza pyramids. Evidence for the pyramid hypothesis comes from many rainwater erosion marks found on the Sphinx's enclosure base, and a climate of that scale only occurred over 10,000 years ago. Coincidentally, almost all ancient myths from around the world tell the same story: the Great Flood. Before the Great Flood was myth, gods and demons rampant. After it begins real history for the first time, then an unthinkable question emerges. Why do continents far apart share the same myths? Why did the Great Flood afterward reset nearly all ancient civilizations worldwide? What were humans or other possible Earth intelligences doing in the long ages before the flood? With those questions, let's see in detail how peoples worldwide tell the Great Flood. In ancient Chinese classics, it's a ruinous force from the heavens above. Huinanzi portrays doomsday, 4 poles ruin, 9 realms split, floods raging non-stop. Then Nuwa smelts 5 colored stones to patch the sky again. This 9 provinces doomsday disaster wasn't just flooding. It was a world-ending heaven-earth cataclysm. Most baffling, Mesopotamia's Sumerian king list marks the Great Flood as the sharp dividing line in history itself. Before the Great Flood, kings ruled for tens of thousands of years, almost like legends. Afterward, reigns matched archaeological findings. It feels odd. Wang Biao's later half reads like strict annals, but the earlier half seems almost like a hazy myth. Could what he recorded be history in another sense? From a different age, perhaps? Epic of Gilgamesh tells gods flood the world. A sage builds an ark to save species. What's hard to comprehend is that the Great Flood described in the text made even the gods feel fear and tremble before it. The text even describes them cowering like dogs by the wall. So what kind of flood was it that even the gods could not understand or control? So we have reason to suspect this world-ending flood was far more than mere myth or legend. Is it possible that before the Great Flood, a highly advanced prehistoric civilization existed on Earth, and that this civilization was destroyed after the flood? However, these guesses lack direct proof. Genesis says Yahweh saw mankind's deep sin. The fountains of the abyss burst. Heaven's windows opened. Noah obeyed God's command, built the ark, and saved Earth's last spark of life. All these myths agree. Water came when heaven's windows opened, pouring down from beyond the sky above to earth below. In other words, this flood wasn't a familiar rising waterline. It hit suddenly, like a tsunami, sweeping down from the sky. So how could the sky have a hole in it? Does that mean the sky is a tangible entity? Another chilling coincidence. Ancient oracle Bone Chuan was written like this: a huge head crowns the Ren character. How can that be sky? How could a blank sky ever have a solid shape? If the ancients saw the sky like this, might mythic Great Flood simply depict the real aftermath of a shattered heaven when it broke apart overhead? In later Chuan writing, does it mean another heaven after the flood? Sure, these are only guesses. Forcing a mythic explanation could take 3 days and nights, and still never really end. These worldwide flood myths pose a question. Why do ancient peoples share the same memory? Even India's Shatapatha Brahmana and the Mahabharata mention a great flood. The fish god warned Manu of a flood, told him build a boat, tie it to its horn, haul to the Himalayas. Families survived, repopulating mankind. This detail of fleeing to high mountains creates a meaningful resonance with the geological phenomenon of marine fossils found in the rocks of the Himalayas. Could this be a true reflection of memory from the myths? Most unsettling. Across the Americas, the Maya sacred Popol Vuh says humans of the first 3 ages perished in floods, until the 4th, the maize people, finally endured. In Hawaii, the Kumulipo chant tells how only Nu survived the flood by sacrificing to the rainbow god on his bow. Noah, Nuwa, Nu. 3 flood savior names across civilizations. Do their sounds really share a hidden, strange link in ancient speech? Is this just coincidence, or a shared savior archetype? Maybe a tale that shifted as it crossed many languages? Could they be one figure, or one kind of otherworldly spiritual guide? Also, Plato in Timaeus seriously described the advanced Atlantis civilization, which sank beneath the sea after a great flood. Ainu legends in Japan say a god led a couple into a barrel to survive a great flood and become ancestors. With these worldwide shared myths, scientists seek a sensible explanation now. Archaeologists have found evidence of ancient massive floods in Mesopotamia, but global simultaneous flood evidence is unclear, so there are several competing theories about this collective memory. From Greenland ice cores, scientists found the Younger Dryas began 12,900 years ago and propose a comet struck the North American ice sheet, speeding glacier melt, raising seas fast and triggering worldwide floods and abrupt climate shifts. There's also the prehistoric supercivilization theory. He believes before today's civilization, an Atlantis-like culture existed and died in a global cataclysm. The Great Flood is its memory. Claim: the flood was an alien reset, intentional or not. Whatever version, it reveals a shocking truth. A heaven-sent flood may have really happened in human history. No direct proof of advanced prehistoric civilizations. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.